Hi y'all, it's Azura Astrology and I'm back with another video. I want to talk about Karen Hooger from the Real Housewives of Potomac, the Miss Grand Dame, right? And what I want to talk about is managing addictions. Now, a lot of people don't know they have addictions. They just think that they have a favorite vice. And whatever that vice might be, we always think that our vice is not an addiction, because addiction is just so coded. It's so like heavy. It's so like crackhead vibes. Like when somebody has an addiction, you think meth. Yes or no? Like you're thinking heroin, crack cocaine. Yeah, you're thinking ran over two little kids on the bike and hit a dog and hit a cow driving drunk home. We kind of think of our like addictions as just negative consequences rather than our everyday habits. And so I'm going to talk about just how if you're not mindful of those things, it could just really ruin your life. And mindful of why you're doing it. And I mean, that's really important because I think that especially like alcohol is so heavy. Alcohol to me, like alcohol is so heavy. Like out of all of the vices, let's say a cigarette, like you could smoke a cigarette and cigarette addiction, that's bad. Is that the number one addiction in the United States or in the world? People smoke cigarettes all over the world, and people would smoke like 2 packs a day or a pack a day, and like not think anything of it because it's like, oh, let me just go get a cigarette. Like they don't think of it like as an addiction. They think of it just like this need to do it. Just how like people don't look at food as an addiction. People look at it as, well, I need to eat. And so in this climate, I think it's really, really easy to want to lean on something. And when I say the climate, I mean just like some people have fucked up lives. Like we're not living in heaven here. Like people been through some really, really messed up things in life. And if you don't manage those things and manage those feelings emotionally without leaning on a substance, then you're going to go crazy. Then you're going to go crazy on these substances. And so with Karen, it's like the Grand Dame. I'm getting for Karen, the vibe I'm getting, I am Miss Cleo, Miss Cleo, Miss Cleo, Miss Cleo. I don't think you really know. Who knows where that's from? And I get like from Karen a lot of times when a woman is so put together, like how Karen is, but she has terrible vices like alcoholism. It probably is a really, really bad rape in her past that she just cannot. And sometimes I find that women don't talk enough in this community about sexual assault, especially when the person is like a family member, especially if it was something that the family knew about and told them to pacify it. I feel like that's really bad. And I kind of get that vibe from Karen. She comes from that era where a father or a grandfather, uncle would be caught in an act with a young girl, and the family is like, this, the family knows, but the family pacifies it as like, maybe here's a gift, here, go get your hair done, here, go, have a drink, go take yourself and your girls to the restaurant or go out to the club with your girls. And I think that it's really, really easy, especially with alcohol, because girl, I know how it is to lean in that bottle. I'm telling you, like, I think that alcohol just has a way out of all of the I never did coke, I never did crack, never did the ecstasy, never did the black tar meth, never shot nothing up. So I really probably am just talking from the vices that I felt like I had. But I know that alcohol is one of those things around the world that is like, people lean into that bottle for a reason, because it's like a spirit. And alcohol just, it warms you. Alcohol is very soothing. It's nasty, but it's medicine. Alcohol used to be like primarily in medicines, because it's like, at least there's alcohol is going to soothe you and make you feel better about being sick. And so that's what I feel is happening with Karen. A lot of times, and I'm not putting anything on her, but I am. I'm not putting rape necessarily, but I'm putting trauma on her. And I think that her family has allowed her to pacify it with alcohol. And sometimes that's it's people see that being passed down, especially like an everyday alcoholic has that, ooh, let me go home, just how someone has a, ooh, let me go smoke a cigarette. Have you ever worked at a job with cigarette smokers? Smokers get the most breaks. It's like you gotta pick that addiction up really if you want to have a good day at work. I'm telling you, it's like nurses and doctors in a hospital. I worked at a hospital, right? The nurses and doctors with cigarette addictions, they get the most breaks. We're Nancy, girl. She gotta take a cigarette, and they accept those type of addictions. You work in retail. Every time you go to like a store, the people standing outside, sometimes they on a break smoking a cigarette. I couldn't even tell you how many times it was managers that we knew this manager was not in the front smoking a cigarette, either in the front. Sometimes the managers in the front want to know if you coming in. I peeped that game already. But long story short, people accept that you need a cigarette, you need a drink, you need to smoke weed, but they don't accept that you need help with what's making you need it. And it's really sad when you see someone's life going down a path that's unnecessary, like for someone like her, the grand dame, to be going to jail and sitting in a prison because she has an addiction to alcohol. She's an alcoholic. She can't accept it. She can't acknowledge what's causing that, and she can't let it go. Because the grand dame had an alcohol problem when we met her. Remember Green Eyes? He had to have a driver, all of that. And I'm not even big on reality TV anymore. It's so draining. It's like drama. I really stopped enjoying reality TV around Bad Girls Club. It's like the drama is overstimulating. I did like Potomac. I did like the Grand Dame because I thought that like Karen had this older vibe that I thought it was like you can learn something from a classy bitch, you know? But sometimes you can't. Sometimes they can learn something. Or sometimes, you know, you could reach out to people and just say like, what's going on? And I think that especially like her husband, I don't know, I feel like people with addictions need so much help, but people just ignore them and just keep buying them drinks, keep buying them alcohol, keep watching them indulge instead of saying like, what's going on? And some people cannot accept it. And Karen does have a narcissistic vibe about her where I can see whatever happened or whatever's causing the need to want to drink and be drunk and go out. And when somebody's like a drinker and driver like Karen has been, it's like, I don't think they plan to get that drunk. They definitely don't plan to be stopped by the police. But I think that people just cannot help but drink in settings. And they cannot help but drink when they're alone. And they cannot help but soothe with whatever is bothering them that they need to numb down. And alcohol is like that. And so, and all addictions really, really are like that. It's like people who feel like they really have anger management problems. They're like, oh, I need to go smoke. Smoking allows you to take a deep breath. It really is a deep breath. And when you're smoking all the time, whether it's cigarettes or weed, it's like that's an expensive deep breath. Point blank period. It's like you're paying to take a deep breath. And we can't do those things on our own. Not everybody's going to meditate. Even meditation doesn't even feel like it's working. Like a cigarette can give you that woo, or like weed, you know. And especially, and I'm not coming at anybody with addictions because I understand, oh, I'm going through it, stop the bleeding. And we lean on substances to do that, you know. And I think that since the passing of my brother, that's him, He's always looking at me, like, smiling. Like, anyway, I remember I just was in this place, well, I still am, where I'm like, oh my God, I have to stay on my path. Like, my path is this way, and I'm not being steered off of it. But do you know how easy it is to be like, I'm emotional, let me drink? But this is the thing. I know now when I drink, oh, I get so emotional. Oh, I can get so in my feelings when I drink. I cannot, while I'm permanently in my feelings, so deep in my feelings, I cannot lean on alcohol. And I don't care. Once you get drunk, once you start drinking, where they say release your inhibitions, it's like your mind is like, girl, if you're feeling the beat, and Karen gives me, she's a girl that feels the beat. She gives me, oh, she likes to go out to dinner. She likes somebody to, I like to go out to dinner. I like to, oh, you know what? I'll take a lemon drop. I'll take an old fashioned. I'll take a marguerite. She gives me that. Like, bring it to the table, bring it to the table. And a lot of times, alcohol, like, different things can make you feel different ways. And I know, like, a whiskey kind of alcohol would make me feel like I could talk, can make me feel friendly, and I won't feel drunk. And you could be on an alcohol like that, and especially if you're an alcoholic, or I do this, I get drunk, this is what I do. You'll say in your head easily, oh, this is whiskey, I could drive. Like, whiskey doesn't do anything to me now. If this was Hennessy, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do that. And people go out and they drink what they think they can survive driving home with, and it's not the case. And even with alcohol, when I first started drinking alcohol, one of the first times I got drunk, I was with my friends. And this was a friend who a few years later would get killed by a drunk driver. And this was the first time I really got drunk. And several times was around this friend. And for him to be, murdered by a drunk driver at a young age, I was like, I'll never drink and drive. Like, I do not want to drink and drive. Like, I'm against it, right? But I wasn't against getting super drunk. I just was like, I'm not going to be the driver. But now I'm in a place where I don't even like getting super, super drunk. I'm not even drinking currently. And that's because I'm going through, like, I just lost my brother, and I do not want to be an alcoholic. Things like that. I don't know what has made Karen Huger turn into an alcoholic, but it can be anything. Like I said, like rape. There's people who, like, they get raped and they lose their mind. And you cannot blame them. And then there's people that are like, well, you shouldn't have lost your mind. You should have just coped with alcohol or coped with weed. And having to cope is hard to do, regardless. But using a substance is not coping. It's actually the opposite of it. It's ignoring going through the thick of it. It's just saying, you know what, I'm just going to sit down and have a drink. Or let me just sit here and have a smoke. And especially things that too much of it could just hold you back. Like alcohol. It's no way to really, and people are, I'm not an alcoholic. A lot of people are, like we're seeing in the case with, like, Karen. And I don't know if she's self-proclaimed. Like I said, Karen has a little narcissistic vibe that I don't even see her claiming yet. Remember how she was fighting the whole thing? Remember, she's Thomas Jefferson's concubine's daughter. I don't know. I don't know, girl. That made me drink too, bitch. Thinking about Thomas Jefferson on my grandmama would make me go, girl, give me a drink. Thomas Jefferson's wrong, girl. He's wrong. That made me drink too, girl. And you sitting up there like a mulatto, girl. Thomas Jefferson's concubine, girl. Where Thomas Jefferson people at? Let's bam on their door. Let's bam on their door. But don't be, like, getting too drunk now, Karen. Girl, let's look for some people's addresses, girl, and tell them to put you in the wheel. I don't know. But, when she was talking all that shit, getting arrested, it was like, come on. And how she acted afterwards, it gave real alcoholic vibes. Like, I'm not an alcoholic. I drink for a living, bitch. Some people don't We can't tell them shit, you know. And growing up, seeing addictions around me, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta stop. You know what I'm trying to say? And I didn't feel like I was an addict, you know? And I still don't think I, like, you know. But if you smoking every day and you drinking every day, even on a weekly, I feel like it's too much. Like, you know, especially smoking. Like, when you think of, like, how many people who smoke a pack a day, when you think about, girl, how many damn packs for the rest of your life? How many packs you done did, girl? What you getting out of it now? Like, people say they smoke a pack a day. It's like, damn, bitch. Damn. What you need that much? Just needy. It's being needy. You gotta address those feelings. To me, you smoke a pack a day, that means you're a needy ass person. You need needy, wanty ass. Like, you need another cigarette for real. And then you know they got addiction when they be having a little attitude with you. Like, I can only imagine the grand time when you take her drink away, bitch. Karen probably kick your ass on the dead George Jeffersons, on the dead Jeffersons. You take Karen drink, girl, on the dead Jeffersons, she's swamping your ass. That's word to the Black Bill Gates. You know what I'm saying? People act like that. And I'm telling you, I've been drunk before. And when I used to really, really like drinking, when I turned 21, it was like, oh, no, I'm not this super religious little girl anymore. I'm grown. I can have a drink if I want to have a drink. And I've been drunk before around people. And that's why they think I ain't going to be shit. It's people I'm going up in life, all they gonna think about is that time I got drunk as fuck. I've been drunk, girl. I mean, this one time I went to whiskey. You know, I just said something about whiskey, girl. At a party, I remember I was at this. Good thing I was with some good people, but I couldn't get up off the bathroom floor. And so no matter where I go in life, if I'm on this walking the stage, getting my PhD. It's two heifers that's gonna say, I remember when that bitch was so drunk in the club she could not get out. I felt like I was in one of those things at the carnival. Girl, I pulled my pants up, hit the ground, I couldn't get up. And God knows what was on that fucking floor. God knows. You know what I'm saying? But that was alcohol. That was like, oh, pre-party, you know, your early, you know, pre-party in the crib because you ain't got all the doubloons and the, you know, quints. So you whatever you got in the house, you by the time your friend beeped the horn, you wobbling down the damn stairs. You wobbling down the damn stairs before you get in the car. Then when you get in the car, girl, you smoking a blunt. You smoking a blunt in the club. Then when you in the club, girl, you find it. That's me. I find my way into a section. I wasn't voted most likely to be famous for no reason, girl. And that's on me. Then you drinking whatever they got in the section. Been there. But it's embarrassing. Like, that's when I feel like you're an addict. You've embarrassed yourself about this. It's like people who do crack, like, okay, I can excuse maybe doing crack one time if it was the 80s. I cannot excuse doing crack present day. There's no excuse for crack. There's no excuse for meth. There's no excuse for, what's the heroin? It's no excuse to be on no shit like, ain't no damn reason to be on no heroin, bitch. I don't give a fuck how many motherfuckers raped you. Low key, don't do heroin. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't do heroin. I shouldn't have said that. But I'm serious. Don't do them drugs. I judge about them drugs, bitch. I don't give a fuck what happened, bitch. Me too. I'm a rape victim. So I can say I don't give a fuck. I'm a sexual assault victim. And, bitch, that's what I'm saying. I can understand how easy it is to lean on the bottle. But don't be putting no needles in your skin, bitch. It's not that serious. Let's get you some help. Let's get you some help, girl. Meth scares me, bitch. Meth is scary, girl. Meth, crack. What else? I don't give a fuck what happened to you. I don't give a fuck what happened to you. Don't do no meth. Don't do no crack. Don't do no heroin. In the Lord's year, what's the Lord's year 2026? I don't give a fuck. Anything between the 2000s and to now, don't do no motherfucking drugs like that. I'm still mad girls back in the day was doing Molly. Why was they doing Molly like that? They was doing Molly. For what? When I was in high school, I never did know about Molly. Because I knew that shit was not going to be cool. I knew it wasn't going to be cool in a couple of years. Like, Molly? Just because this man popped the Molly, he's sweating. Woo! You think that wasn't all them old songs back in the day? They was talking about doing crack. the white horse, riding, what is that song? Ride the white horse. I think that's about crack. Or it's about ecstasy, it's about heroin, it's about, you know, people make songs about drugs like that back in the day. Don't do no shit like that. I'm not playing with y'all. Fuck it. Just be an alcoholic before you start doing shit like... No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said what I said a little bit. You know, but I am on the victim's team. But I'm saying, girl, bitch, me too. I ain't never do no crack. I ain't never do no heroin. And never going to, bitch. You couldn't even... The doctor would have to trick me. The doctor would have to be giving me an IV and be like, damn, bitch, this the heroin. I'm sorry. That's the only way that shit is ever going in my fucking body, girl. And I'd be like, bitch, if that's not a new needle, bitch, I'm tearing this hospital up and down. Period. But, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't. But if you don't address your problems, it have you somewhere doing meth, thinking you got to self-soothe with some meth. Meth? Get it together, girl. But sitting with yourself, people just cannot sit with themselves. So they sit with the bottle. They sit with the crack rocks, I'm guessing. I just don't know what people doing heroin for. Maybe heroin is not my demographic. I think as an African American, I don't know too many heroin addicts. Now, people might feel like crack is whack. But crack, at least the crackhead can still, crackhead know how to, plumb. Is it plumb? Is that how you say it? Crackheads is good plumbers. Is plumbers plumb? Do plumbers plumb? I don't know, girl. But at least a crackhead can, fix your brakes, girl. I don't know. But all that shit had you fucked up, and it's only going to lead you down a worse path in life. No matter what happens to you. I'm telling you, whenever something traumatic happens to you, you need to sit in it and just get over it. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. But if you're drinking and you're getting drunk and you're forgetting to fix the problem, you're just doing that every day. You're never going to get to the bottom of the issue. Then you're going to be somewhere crying like, man, this happened. And this happened to me. And worse things happen to you when you're inebriated. Like, worse things happen to inebriated people. So even if you're a victim of, like, sexual assault, like me, I'm telling you, I've been drunk and I've been like, yo, why? Like, I woke up one birthday I was supposed to go out, girl. I was on. Girl, I'll never forget this birthday because I forgot it. You know what I'm saying? And that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to get drunk as fuck. Seriously. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to get drunk as fuck. Because I'm telling you, people got that on you. When you get drunk, you don't even know what you doing or what happened. And that's why, like, I don't really know what crack feels like or heroin, meth. Like, I'm never going to know what those things feel like. I just listen to people say, oh, it feels so good. Bitch, you can't trick me. You be hearing them interviews of people that did crack and stuff, and they be, drugs, like hard drugs, like crack, the white stuff. The people that do the white stuff, anything white, anything coming them needles and stuff, they just be talking about how euphoric they felt and how it took over their bodies and life. And when you see these people on drugs, they be bent over. They be, to them, that's what they live for. They live to feel this way, and they don't know that we driving past them like, this motherfucker doing a crackhead lean, and it's like, oh, it's good to them, And in those addictions, like they say in school, is always a gateway drug, right? People always say it's a weed, but I think it's marijuana, because when I get drunk, bitch, I don't give a fuck. I can say I'm on a diet. Girl. I get a few drinks in me, bitch. Girl, eat like a pig. I eat worse drunk than I do on the munchies. And I had to let that shit go too, because you sitting somewhere chain smoking, it's like, okay, literally, what are you trying to do? You're trying to distract yourself from the issue. And so it doesn't go away. It won't go away. You could be super successful. You could be like the Grand Dame, and like, I don't know if she feels super successful. And I think that a lot of women who are housewives, they have that alcoholic disease. What else is there to do? A lot of them are on pain medicine. And when I not sometimes pain medicine, but a lot of times like an antidepressant, you take an antidepressant, you start drinking alcohol, girl, one drink a shot on an antidepressant, girl, zooted. You know, I'm supposed to. It says don't take it, but I kind of feel like Karen has, on top of a lot of things, I think maybe she's Thomas Jefferson's concubine, like she said, you know, in her head, and I think that's where that grand dame came from. God knew not to put me in that era in life. God knew not to put me in that era. God knew what he got. God knew. God knew not to put me in that era. But women like the grand dame, I think that she probably wants to be in that era. She probably thinks she is, you know, the princess of the plantation. And I think that she just has a one too many on a regular, and there's nothing anybody can tell you when you're in the attic and you're gonna get it anyway. Especially alcohol. Girl, when somebody's an alcoholic, they can't even really be using like mouthwash. Girl, they was saying, so I saw this other thing, somebody was an alcoholic. They said that they took a shot of vanilla abstract. Really? I'm like, vanilla abstract? Then I had to look. I was like, that's how you make vanilla abstract? They use alcohol, they use a little bit of this, some cinnamon sticks or some shit. Like, but it's mainly alcohol. And so I was like, oh, okay. And, you know, if you feel yourself needing anything, you need to go cold turkey. Like, cut it off, because you'll be old as fuck. How many drinks you think the grand dame ever had in her life? I be thinking about numbers like that. Like, if you started smoking weed, the first time you started smoking weed was, a lot of people start what, in high school? Girl, you 78. How many of them blunts you know smoking in your life, bro? Like, how many was enough? You alcoholic, you been drinking, you had your first drink, you snuck and had your first drink at, I don't know, some people start at 15 or younger, depending on their family. And it's like, so this is a part of your life now, when it doesn't really have to be, because you'll fuck around, get in your car and think you could drive, bitch. You Miss Frizzle driving a school bus and shit. They be on a school bus drunk. That's what I'm saying. Like, that shit fuck with your decision making. I'm telling you, like, it really, really does. People think that weed is not a big deal because, oh, it comes from the herb. You know, like, cocaine come from the poppy seeds. Like, that shit is natural too. It don't mean that you need to be a cokehead at all. It don't mean you need to be a crackhead at all. It don't mean you need to be a meth head at all. I don't know why anybody become. I'm so against meth. I'm so against meth. I am. Because meth heads, crackheads is cuter than meth heads. Point blank, period. And they be spooky acting. Anyway, the grand dame is free. You think, I don't know if she's gonna, I hope she stops. But I feel like you have to get to the bottom to find the cure for your issues emotionally. You have to go to the core. To find the cure, you gotta go to the core. And you gotta sit there by yourself, and you really gotta be like, okay, I don't need it. Because if you Jones in for something, like, oh, I need a blunt. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, you running for something. People will be at work smoking cigarettes. It's like you running from the fact that somebody not coming to work today, and instead of just getting to whatever work and figuring out how you gonna do it, I need to smoke a cigarette first. It's like you could take a deep breath without smoking a cigarette. You could take a deep breath without smoking weed. And when you need these things, you're giving it power, and you might be a slave. And because it's energy in these things, weed. People who get like the drug dealers and stuff like that, the drug dealers start sending you messages. When a drug dealer ain't seen you in a while, I don't say drug dealers because, like I said, the weed man ain't seen you in a while. The weed man be like, oh, this is my specials this week. They want you to, now you fucking feeling like you gotta pay the fucking weed man rent, girl. Giving the weed man your money every month. Girl, you never know. It's energy and stuff. Same thing with the alcohol in the bottles, girl. You gotta slow down. And alcohol, really, the effects that it have on your body, on the insides, it's kind of like we gotta be more cautious of these things. But when you're so fucked up emotionally, it's like, do you give a fuck about necrosis? Is that how you say necrosis? ulcers. You give a fuck about an ulcer, bitch. If you got a pain in your heart, you got to get to that pain in your heart, and you can tend to your pain sober. It's the best way to do it. Seriously. And then your body would just really rise up in vibrations, because these are downers. When you're drinking, alcohol is a downer. Did anybody go to health class? Because I learned alcohol is a downer. It's not like, that's why you get, and that's a part of it, just getting knocked out and just like leaving this world and having these out of body experiences, because it hurts to be in our body, whether we think about what's the pain we're not addressing or not. So I feel like the grind time, I don't want anybody in jail that is not a murderer or a rapist or just a terrible person. I don't know what else is murder, rapist, shooter, crimer, all these things. But somebody, I mean, like I said, my friend was murdered by a drunk driver. So I don't take drinking and driving as something that's just like light, something we should just be patting her on the wrist for because she's Thomas Jefferson's concubine. Like, no. But I hope for one person to another that whatever really is at the core of her alcoholism, she can address it and be free from it, because it's a demon on her back and it's still going to be there. So you telling me after all those being away from alcohol, hopefully she was, because you know they make the pooch. So I don't know how deep in the bag she is about it, but I hope that this is a new beginning for her, because it's just a shame that you could have these problems for so long in your life and you're an older person, and it's like, aren't you supposed to be wise? Aren't you supposed to be the one that tells the younger people what to and what not to do? And then that's when you notice elders, a lot of our elders are just people who grew the fuck up and lived long. I mean, they didn't grow up, but they just lived long. So you gotta watch out who you giving that title to, Grand Dame and the this, that, and the third, and the big mamas and the Iyanla Vanzants. You know what I'm trying to say? You're giving people more credit than they really, really deserve. And I think that I've said enough, but if you're dealing with addictions, if you're dealing with trauma in your life, especially sexual trauma, so I think that sexual trauma in men and in women is what drives people crazy. Seen it happen. To address those type of traumas, you have to go see a doctor. Point blank, period. And there's a lot of free resources. You have to speak to somebody about it. Especially if you were sexually taken advantage of, if you had, because that energy, the sexual demons that come off of people that are rapists and leech onto your body, it's crazy. You know, and I'm not talking about demons as whispering, you hearing things and you feeling psychotic. I think that happens to people too. But I'm talking about what makes you feel like you need to drink every single day. What makes you feel like you need to smoke every single day. What makes you feel like you need to do something as extreme as meth. Know what we know about meth. You know what I'm saying? And I think that you have to be careful of your own demons. You know, your own. And you got to monitor. If you know how you act when you off that Hennessy, don't just say you don't drink Hennessy. Maybe say I need to not drink alcohol for a month or two. Cleaning out my system. Maybe you need to tell yourself, I'm a 2-drink kind of girl. I have 2 drinks and that's it. You know, and you don't drink and drive. And those things limit your consumption of alcohol anyway. Because now I'm driving, so I won't drink at all. But if you cannot make that decision, like you cannot stop yourself, you have a problem. I've been there where if I drunk after work, I didn't just drink. I needed to get drunk because it was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was addicted. I did love that feeling of being drunk and having just like, woo, like, wow. And maybe it was an early 20s thing, because now, like, mainly because of going through emotional trauma, I was like, I'm currently like, I don't want to lean on anything but my faith in God. Period. I'm not leaning on food, because food is an addiction. Now it's like, really, you don't need all that food on your plate. You really don't. Like right now, I'm in a stage where I'm eating to not be hungry, but I'm not eating to be full. I'm eating to not be hungry, but I'm not eating to be full. A lot of that food on your plate, girl, it's a little bit too much food on your plate. But we addicted to like stuff in our mouth sometimes. Like that's an addiction, just like feeling full. And I've been there when it's just like, now I'm full, I can finish eating. And we got to get to the core of those things. So I really say therapy. And some people, like, you got to be in a place to be accepting of it. And somebody like Karen, I don't know if she's ever been, like, if you're this old, it's kind of like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know, it's kind of like, I wish her the best, but I wish the people the best on the road, because maybe she can't stop herself from drinking. And there's people like, they've been through some messed up shit. They cannot. But the more you get fucked up, especially when it comes down to like sexual assault or, you know, domestic violence, the more you lean on to drugs, the more you do the drugs, the more you're just inviting that kind of abuse into your life. Period. And it's sad, but it's what it attracts. It just it is what it attracts. It is something that energy can just pull into you. And so I just want everybody to monitor that, especially if you're really young and in your 20s. There's making memories, but those memories don't mean you won't forget getting locked up that day. Anyway.